Welcome to Rich Conversations. This is another edition of Rich Answers, where we take questions from past guests who've been on the podcast before, and they give me questions that I answer. And today we have questions from NASA's very own Kat Kennedy. And Kat and I are very big dinosaur fans, so I thought it would be appropriate and fitting to record this at the Field Museum here in Chicago. We have a Titanosaur behind me, Maximo, from Argentina, and just set the vibe a little bit. So Kat sent us 3 questions. Now, the first one is, what is your death row Last Supper meal? And I was thinking about this one, and I couldn't really picture myself in that scenario. So more realistically, I try to imagine it and apply it to my own life. And I'm going to Miami in like a month, and generally I'm in pretty good shape for the Midwest, but like Miami is going to be a different story. So I'm like committed to changing my like nutrition and exercising habits over the next few weeks. So I did actually have kind of a last weekend of meals, and this is what it included: Twizzlers, pull and peel, cherry licorice, a sausage, home run in frozen pizza. But what I like to do with my frozen pizzas is like chop up a bunch of vegetables and put it on top. So it's like a salad on top. So like tomato, basil, sometimes green onions, red onion, or green peppers. Red onions are fantastic. I had a barbecue pulled pork sandwich with house-cut fries from Lincoln Station. We have some of the best fries in the city at Lincoln Station. So I had that, and my very last one before I went on this kick was I went to KFC. There's like a KFC a few blocks from me, and I got chicken tenders, and I got 2 biscuits and wild cherry Pepsi. Now it's very rare for me to drink soda. It just doesn't really have much nutritional value at all, and my body always feels weird after I drink it. But last meal, why not, right? Came with a combo too, so that would kind of be my like death row. It wouldn't be my death row. I'd add ice cream in there too. But that was like a last supper meal recently. Number 2, what is one thing you wish people knew about you? Now this can go in a number of different directions, and it can be a very long conversation here. I think something that people, if they want to know more about me, first of all, I guess not a lot of people know about me. I don't know if that's, I don't know. I just kind of live my life, and I don't know. People don't seem to know a lot about me, but fundamentally, if I would want people to understand something about me, I would probably say I'm a country boy. I grew up on a farm in rural Wisconsin. I'm a country boy, and that how I'm raised has shaped how I approach life, right? And what I have found through living in Chicago for over, what am I at, 14 years now, that there are very few people in the city that were raised like me, in the country. And it's certainly, it's like everything. It's a perspective that I find other people don't have. At times it's kind of lonely. Other times it's not. I operate differently than most of the people around me in the city. For an example of, like, it's very raw. Like, living in the country, you experience life and nature as kind of, you have like this this understanding of it. For example, not too long ago, I was back on the farm, and there were these little kittens, but very, very tiny, like as big as my fist, right? And they were just meowing and meowing and meowing, crawling. They barely have their eyes open. And so I recorded it, and I posted it on social media. And it was like the most engagement I ever got on a video. Go figure. And everybody's like, oh, that's so adorable. And like heart eyes emojis and things like that. But the real story behind that is like, right next to these kittens, there's a puddle. And their sibling is lying in it, drowned. And these kittens were abandoned by their mother. There are two reasons why they were doing what they were doing. They originally were in like this cubby of like old like nuts and bolts and parts in the shed on the farm, which is like 8 feet high. And now they're like, 20 feet away from that. So either one, their mother was killed or died, or two, the mother abandoned them. And they're now surviving. So they had to fall or jump like 8 feet and then crawl and just try to survive. And one of the three did not survive then. And then my grandma tried taking care of them, and they didn't survive that either. That's the country. It's like real. And that's nature, and you learn from that. And that's just like one example. And you like, in the country, besides nature, you just like, you get stuff done, and it's based around community and caring for people and just being like genuine and authentic, and helping people out. And I think, and we're just bold. We just like do stuff, we don't get in our heads too much. And I do find this could go on for a while, but I find that country folk and city folk get along really well. Like they're very similar mindsets. It's people that were raised in suburbs where there's like a disconnect. And well, I'm a country boy, so I'd want people to know about that. Sorry to be so long-winded about it. Number 3, this is our last question. When was the last time you laughed so hard you cried, and what were you laughing about? So I was trying to think about this one on my way here, and actually it was about like 2 hours ago. So I was getting my hair cut by Emily. She's fantastic. we always get these conversations, and I'm telling her about Miami, and now I'm setting up. I'm booking guests to record in person in Miami. And on my Instagram newsfeed yesterday, a gal came up, and it was my old AIM girlfriend from like 5th grade, and she lives in Miami. So I was like, I should have her on and talk about our experiences. And we've never met in person, and we should meet each other. So we started just like bursting out in laughter, and it was so funny. And so after the haircut, I reached out to her, and sure enough, we're gonna try to make it happen. So that's something to look forward to over the next month or so. Rich reunites with his AIM girlfriend like 20 years later. So I was like, I had tears coming out of my eyes. So that was something that was super funny. And those are our questions for Rich Answers today. Thank you, Kat, for providing these. This was a lot of fun. And keep on keeping on out there.